What I'm about to share shocked even me as a medical professional reviewing the latest research on aging and circulation. Because for years, we've told adults over 60 the same thing. Just walk more. Stay active. Keep moving. And while walking is helpful, what researchers are now discovering is this. Even active seniors can still suffer from poor blood flow in the legs. And most don't realize it until the symptoms quietly show up. Cold feet at night, heavy legs during the day, tingling, cramping, that feeling like your legs just don't respond the way they used to. What surprised doctors is not that circulation declines with age, but how quickly it can improve with one very simple daily habit. Not a pill, not a supplement ad, not an extreme routine, just a simple drink that works with your body's natural systems, especially after 60. And here's the most important part. This isn't about fitness. It's about independence. It's about standing up without feeling unsteady, walking without fear, keeping your legs warm, responsive, and reliable, even as the years pass. Before we begin, tell us your age and where you're watching from. We read and replied to every comment, and your experience helps others feel less alone on this journey. Now, before I show you this drink, there's something critical you need to understand. Because many well-meaning habits, even healthy ones, may not be doing what you think they're doing for your leg circulation after 60. In the next chapter, we're going to talk about walking, why it's still good, but why, for many seniors, it may no longer be enough on its own. This part surprises a lot of people, so stay with me. Now let me be very clear about something before we go any further. Walking is good for you. It helps your heart. It helps your mood. It helps maintain mobility. This is not an anti-walking message. But what doctors and researchers are now saying is this. After 60, walking alone may no longer be enough to restore healthy blood flow to the legs, especially below the knees. And here's why that matters. As we age, gravity works against circulation. Blood has to travel farther downward, and then fight its way back up. At the same time, blood vessels slowly lose flexibility. The inner lining of the arteries, called the endothelium, doesn't respond as quickly as it once did. So even if you walk every day, your legs may still feel heavy, cold, weak, or slow to recover. Many seniors blame themselves for this. They think, maybe I'm not walking far enough. Maybe I need to push harder. Maybe this is just aging. But here's the truth. This is not about effort. It's about biology. Walking improves overall circulation, yes, but it does not always activate the specific chemical signals that help blood vessels in the lower legs relax and open. That's why some people can walk daily and still experience nighttime leg cramps, cold feet in bed, tingling or numbness, fatigue after short errands, fear of losing balance. And this is where many seniors unknowingly get stuck. They keep doing more of the same, while their circulation quietly continues to decline. But what changed everything for researchers was discovering that certain nutrients can directly signal blood vessels to open, even at rest. That means circulation support doesn't always require more movement. Sometimes, it requires the right signal. And that brings us to the science that surprised doctors. In the next chapter, I'm going to show you what the research uncovered, including large studies involving thousands of older adults that completely changed how doctors view circulation after 60. These numbers are important, because they separate opinion from evidence. Stay with me. Massive numbers. Why doctors had to pay attention. For a long time, circulation advice for seniors was based on tradition, not evidence. Doctors believed that if you stayed active, blood flow would take care of itself. But when researchers began looking deeper, at scale, the story changed. One major analysis followed over 15,000 adults aged 60 and older. Some were active, some walked daily, some exercised regularly, yet a large percentage still showed poor circulation in the legs, especially below the knees. That alone was concerning. But what truly surprised researchers was this. When specific nutrients that support blood vessel signaling were introduced, leg blood flow improved measurably, even without increasing physical activity. These weren't small lab experiments. The findings were repeated across multiple countries, tested in hundreds of controlled trials, observed in men and women well into their 70s and 80s. Doctors noticed consistent improvements in blood vessel flexibility, oxygen delivery to leg muscles, warmth in feet and lower legs, reduced cramping and heaviness, What made these results impossible to ignore was that they showed up even in seniors who were already doing everything right. That's when researchers realized something important. Circulation after 60 isn't just about movement. It's about chemical signals inside the body that tell blood vessels when to open and relax. And those signals weaken with age, unless they're supported. This is why the drink I'm about to share matters. Not because it's trendy, not because it's new, but because it helps restore a process the body slowly loses over time. And when that process improves, the effects are felt where seniors notice them most, in the legs, the feet, and daily movement. Now that you understand why doctors began paying attention to this research, the next question is the most important one. What does better circulation actually change in your daily life? That's exactly what we'll talk about next. Better circulation is not something you feel on a chart or see in a report. You feel it in everyday moments. It's the difference between standing up smoothly or needing a few seconds to steady yourself. It's the confidence to walk across a parking lot without worrying if your legs will feel weak halfway through. Healthy blood flow delivers oxygen and nutrients to the muscles that keep you upright. When circulation slows, those muscles fatigue faster, even during simple tasks. That's why poor leg circulation often shows up as heavy or tired legs. Cold feet, especially at night. Slower reaction when you trip or lose balance. A growing fear of falling. This isn't about strength alone. It's about reliability. Strong legs mean very little if blood can't reach them efficiently. When circulation improves, many seniors notice easier movement when getting out of a chair, less stiffness in the morning, warmer feet in bed, more confidence doing daily errands, and perhaps most importantly, a sense that their body is working with them again. Independence isn't lost all at once. It fades quietly, task by task. That's why supporting leg blood flow is one of the most practical steps you can take after 60. Now, before I explain exactly how this drink works, there's one concern we must address first. Because safety matters more than anything else at this stage of life. Safety first. Removing fear before action. When it comes to health advice after 60, fear is often the biggest barrier. Many seniors hesitate not because they don't care, but because they've been warned so many times to be careful. Be careful with supplements. Be careful with blood pressure. Be careful with sugar. Be careful with interactions. That caution is understandable, which is why safety must come before results. The drink we're talking about does not force the body to change. It supports a natural process the body already uses to regulate blood flow. It doesn't stimulate the heart. It doesn't thin the blood aggressively. It doesn't rely on artificial compounds. Instead, it works gently by encouraging blood vessels to relax and open the way they were designed to. For most seniors, this means no sudden spikes or crashes. No jittery feeling. No strain on the heart. And because it works gradually, the body adapts naturally. That's why doctors began paying attention to it in the first place. Of course, everyone's situation is different. But for many older adults, this approach feels supportive, not risky. The goal is not to push your body. The goal is to help it do what it's already trying to do, more efficiently. Now that safety is clear, it's time to talk about what makes this approach different. In the next chapter, I'll finally explain what this simple drink is, and why it works so well for leg blood flow after 60. The most surprising part of this research was not how complex the solution was. It was how simple it turned out to be. Doctors weren't looking for a miracle drink. They were studying how the body produces a natural compound called nitric oxide, a molecule that tells blood vessels when to relax and open. As we age, the body produces less of it. That's one of the main reasons circulation in the legs slows down after 60. What caught researchers off guard was discovering that certain everyday foods can support nitric oxide production naturally, without medication. One of the easiest ways to do that is through a simple drink made from beetroot. Beets are naturally rich in dietary nitrates. When consumed, these nitrates are converted by the body into nitric oxide. That nitric oxide then signals blood vessels to widen, allowing blood to flow more easily, even down into the lower legs and feet. This is why many seniors report warmer feet, less heaviness in the legs, improved endurance during daily activities. And it's why doctors were surprised. Not because beets are new, but because their effect on aging circulation had been underestimated for years. The key is not quantity, it's consistency. A small, simple serving, taken regularly, can support blood flow without overwhelming the system. Now that you know what the drink is, the next question becomes practical. How long does it take to work, and why does it help so many seniors with less effort than exercise alone? That's exactly what we'll explore next. One of the biggest challenges after 60 is not motivation, it's energy. Many seniors want to do more for their health, but fatigue, joint pain, or limited time make long routines unrealistic. That's why this approach stood out in the research. Supporting circulation through this simple drink requires very little effort, yet the results can be meaningful. Unlike exercise, which demands physical output, this works internally. While you're sitting, while you're reading, even while you're sleeping. Doctors noticed that seniors who supported blood vessel function this way often experienced improvements without increasing activity levels. That doesn't mean movement isn't important. It means circulation doesn't always need more strain to improve. For many older adults, this removes a powerful mental barrier. You're not being asked to push harder. You're being asked to support your body intelligently. That shift alone can make a habit feel sustainable. And when something feels sustainable, people actually stick with it. Now, let's go one step deeper. Because circulation isn't just about blood vessels, it's also closely connected to the brain and nervous system. That connection is where things get especially interesting. Circulation is often explained as a plumbing problem. But that's only part of the story. Blood flow is also directed by the nervous system. Your brain constantly communicates with your blood vessels, telling them when to tighten, when to relax, and where blood is needed most. As we age, that communication becomes less efficient. Signals travel more slowly, blood vessels respond less clearly, and the lower parts of the body, especially the legs and feet, are affected first. This is why poor circulation often comes with numbness or tingling, delayed muscle response, balance hesitation, slower reaction when you stumble. What surprised researchers was that improving blood vessel signaling also improved neurological responsiveness. When blood flow improves, nerves receive more oxygen and nutrients. That helps restore clearer communication between the brain and the legs. For seniors, this can mean better awareness of foot placement, more confidence while walking, faster correction if balance is challenged. This is one reason why the drink works so well in older adults. It doesn't just move blood, it supports the systems that control where blood goes. Now that you understand why this works on a deeper level, there's one detail that makes it especially suitable after 60. It's not about speed or intensity, it's about going slow. That's what we'll talk about next. Fast changes can feel risky later in life. Quick spikes, sudden drops, aggressive interventions. The body doesn't respond well to extremes as it ages. That's why slow, steady circulation support is not a weakness, it's an advantage. This drink works gradually. Instead of forcing blood vessels open, it encourages them to relax naturally over time. That means less stress on the heart, fewer sudden changes in blood pressure, a calmer, more predictable response. Researchers found that this steady approach aligns better with aging physiology. The goal is not instant intensity. The goal is consistency. And consistency is what produces lasting change. So what does progress actually look like when you support circulation this way? Let's talk about expectations, because knowing what's normal helps people stay consistent. One of the most common questions seniors ask is, how long before I notice a difference? The answer varies, but there are patterns doctors began to notice. Some people feel small changes within days, warmer feet, less nighttime discomfort. Others notice changes over a couple of weeks, easier movement in the morning, less leg fatigue during errands. Over time, many report more confidence while walking, fewer balance scares, less stiffness after sitting. Progress is rarely dramatic. It's subtle, and that's why it lasts. The body doesn't need to be shocked. It needs to be supported. Now, before we wrap this up, there's one important part of healing that often gets overlooked. Connection. And that's where community comes in. Aging can feel isolating. Many seniors experience circulation issues quietly, assuming it's just something they have to live with. But when people begin sharing their experiences, something powerful happens. They realize they're not failing. They're not weak. They're responding to normal changes, and those changes can be supported. Seeing others your age take small, practical steps creates confidence. And confidence leads to action. Now let's step back and look at the bigger picture. Because circulation isn't just about how you feel today, it shapes how you move years from now. Every small habit you practice today casts a vote for the future version of you. The one who walks confidently at 80, or the one who hesitates. Supporting leg blood flow is not about reversing age. It's about working with it. Small, consistent choices can protect independence far longer than most people expect. And the earlier you support your circulation, the more your body has to work with. Let's close this with something important. Not pressure, not urgency, just a reminder. There is no perfect starting point. There is only where you are right now. You don't need to change everything. You don't need to do more than you're able. Supporting your body can be simple. It can be calm, and it can fit into your daily life. Small steps, taken consistently, often lead to the strongest outcomes. That's how confidence is rebuilt. That's how independence is preserved. And that's how health becomes something you support, not something you chase.